This time, the Chair recognizes Councilwoman Parker, who will present a resolution honoring and recognizing the students, staff, and partners of Hill-Freedman World Academy High School. Would the students please join the Councilwoman at the podium? And joining Councilwoman Parker, we have Councilman Greenlee, Councilman Heenan, Councilman Green, Councilman Taubenberger, Councilman Jones, and Councilman Dom, and Councilman Johnson, and Councilwoman Kiona Sanchez.
Yeah, you're first.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I'll take this opportunity while we are getting assembled to here to say, one, I am excited about welcoming Hill-Freedman World Academy to the City Council of Philadelphia chambers. I also want to note that everyone knows Hill-Freedman, but we were very fortunate in the 9th Councilmatic District when in 2016, thanks to the leadership of Dr. Height in the School District of Philadelphia and Principal Majewski, they made the former lead school their school here in the city of Philadelphia. And in 2016, the 10th grade class, and they're now 11th graders, they began learning computer-based music production and composition, and they did this in partnership with David Bradley and LiveConnections. David Bradley, raise your hand so the people watching this will know who you are. And I learned this. While I was proud as the district council person to say that they have a music production studio, I was even more proud, Councilman Johnson, to learn that while we are not the only school with a music production studio, we are the only school that we are aware of which has produced and published its own CD and distributed to the public. So that is huge for us. And while the process will be normal and that we will go through our resolution presentation, it will be a little different in that in true leadership style, the school has said we do not want you to hear from the principal and the leadership of the school. We want to yield our time so you can hear 60 seconds from the young people of what is actually on their CD. So I want you to raise your hand, Principal Majewski, just so people will know who you are. Raise your hand, Principal. Raise your hand higher. There are people who are watching on television. And so, Principal Majewski, thank you so much for your leadership. Student-centered, community-oriented principals. He doesn't sit in the office to govern like he's of the people and in the school, so that's important. Ezekiel Thurman, you'll remember him. Councilman Green, you had him when he was here at Houston. They produced actually some work there, but he led the music production program at Houston Elementary, the student CD production project of 2014-15, and we have an in-school studio that supports Hill-Freedman students and community because of Zeke Thurman. Zeke, where are you? Because I don't think, here, thank you so much. You know, recognition is important. When Houston was here, you know, I don't know that people knew that we recognized some folks, but you were the man who made it happen. So we need to note that for the record. I'll talk about Bria later. Dana Hinkson, the associate student producer. She spent hours supporting and encouraging her, crossed every T and dotted every I. David Bradley, where are you, the rock star? Raise your hand. David of LiveConnections understands the importance of music in the arts and connected our young students to writing workshops. And Yolanda Wisher, who is the poet laureate for the city of Philadelphia. Sponsors are here. The guys who gave the money are extremely important. I want to know who they are. Stockton Rush Bartle, Patricia Kine, Wincoat, and listen, you heard Ezekiel Thurman. He was so vested that his family ended up being one of the sponsors, the John and Joanne Thurman and the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts. So after we make the presentation, you will hear from Solomon Smith and Bria Jordan, and every council member today will receive a copy of this, which is the official first verse CD. The resolution reads as follows. A resolution honoring and recognizing the students, staff, and partners of Hill-Freedman World Academy High School in collaboration with LiveConnections on the release of First Verse, a student-led original CD album of poetry set to music.
Whereas in the fall of 2016, Hill-Freedman World Academy High School, under the leadership of Principal Anthony Majewski, opened its new music studio, record label, and music technology program, and
whereas music technology teacher Ezekiel Thurman, who designed and implemented the new program and launched Hill-Freedman Records, taught all 11th graders as they immersed themselves in learning computer-based music production and composition as part of the school's International Baccalaureate program, and
whereas, as students developed their music composition skills, Thurman reached out to LiveConnections, a nonprofit dedicated to inspiring, learning, and building community through collaborative music making, to partner together through an artist residency at the school, led by founding director David Bradley, and
whereas LiveConnections brought City of Philadelphia Poet Laureate Yolanda Wisher to the music studio to lead a poetry writing program, and
it's good to be the first, but you can't be the only. We're putting $2.5 million in Overbrook High School to match what you're doing, and so competition's on.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Whereas students wrote about personal struggles and issues that they were dealing with at home, at school, and in the community. They wrote verses inspired by imagery of color and poems driven by what Miss Wisher called John Henry level of hyperbole? Okay, got it.
And whereas working in the recording studio, the students performed and recorded their poems and joined their writing with their music compositions with additional support from LiveConnections artist Andrew Lipke.
Gonna have to ask Councilman O to let them open up in next year's competition, right? There we go. Whereas in the final phase of the project, producers Thurman and Bradley worked with student producers to create the original CD album, and
whereas student leadership led to the project expanding from a planned 15-track album to one comprising 29 tracks entitled First Verse. In total, the project involved 88 students, including 2 student producers.
As a parent of a Hill-Freedman World Academy student, I'm incredibly proud to be here to see all the phenomenal work that Hill-Freedman has done, and it's a pleasure that this is a school that combines an international baccalaureate program with also a program with children that have learning differences and challenges. Whereas the debut from Hill-Freedman World Records, First Verse announces the school's ambition for what's ahead. Distinctive student voices, rigorous process, and collaboration with top artists and artist organizations in the city. Now, therefore, be it
resolved that the Council of the City of Philadelphia hereby honors and recognizes the students, staff, and partners of Hill-Freedman World Academy High School in collaboration with LiveConnections on the release of First Verse, a student-led or original CD album of poetry set to music.
Further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to the students and staff of Hill-Freedman World Academy High School as a sincere expression of the Philadelphia City Council's recognition. And now, Council will hear selections from Solomon Smith and Bria Jordan since we've just read the resolution. Thank you.
I would like to give thanks to Council President Clark and Councilwoman Parker for allowing us the opportunity to showcase our skills. Thank you. Roots. Far back as the king himself, David. Verses, poetry, detailed as the Psalms, not as wise as the Proverbs, but I'm getting there. I'm heavenly, you know it. I have Gabriel behind me in case anybody want to try. Never smoked, but I feel high as a kite. Ignore fools, I'm Beethoven. Deaf to stupidity, infinity is where I'm headed off to. My words move like an African dance. Never considered myself a poet or a rapper, but you have to give me a chance. My trance on you is finished. My time is now diminished. Or is it? Egotistical and understatement. It's blatant that my ciphers are vipers, king cobras. You see how I inject myself. Philosophical toxins, they enter the bloodstream. Don't scream, it seems you see my love, my pain, my joy, my dreams. The next voice you will hear will come from Bria Jordan.
My poem is named Gold Bills on Top. My melanin is so potent that even black coffee gets jealous. My butter toffee, cocoa-filled pigment, those who lack thinks my brown is overzealous. My hair is so thick and voluminous that even Pocahontas gets upset. My density versus her length overpowers that even the peas on the back of my neck is a threat. The way I walk is so infused with confidence that it feels like my head goes through the ceiling lights. I'm always looking up, never slouching with my head down, so much that I tend to forget what my shoes look like. My rhymes flow together like rose water in the fountain of youth. By the way I matched this trio called pen, paper, and words, they thought I matched Hera and Zeus. I file my nails with the bezels of the ice that rappers rock. I eat my ice cream as a snack with gold bills on top.
Thank you very much. Council will be at ease.